All right, hi class. So today we're going to be looking at how to multiply rational numbers. So we're going to be able to multiply rational numbers, and we're going to be able to apply operations with rational numbers to real-world context. So question is, what is a rational number? So remember, a rational number can be written as a fraction. Okay? So it can be written as a fraction. So 2 over 3 is a rational number. Or we could also have it written as a decimal, 0.5, because 0.5 is also a fraction, 1 over 2, okay? So rational numbers can be written as a fraction. So today we are going to multiply. Yes, fractions. We are multiplying fractions and we are multiplying decimals. All right, so let's look at this question here. Two hikers descend from the summit of a mountain. What is Petra's change in elevation? So Petra is right here. Petra's change in elevation is 3.5 times as great as Ben's change of elevation. So we know Ben's elevation is changing at negative 1.5, and Petra's is 3 times that, so times 3.5. So what is that equal to? So we can represent this as, I don't know why I wrote 1.5. It is 1.2, checking to see if you're paying attention. Okay, good, you caught that. I'm glad that you are listening. Okay, so the change is going down 1.2 each time, 3.5 times. So we can say Ben has gone down negative 1.2, and then negative 1.2, because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that's 1.2. This is then a negative 1.2. And then this isn't 1.2, he's gone down. This is actually minus 0.6, because this would be 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. And the reason why is because that is our half of 1.2. All right? So it is a total of negative 4.2. Okay? Meters. And that's how we can model this on a number line. But we could actually multiply this using our rules for multiplying integers. We know when we multiply a negative times a positive, that's going to be a positive. Okay? Oh, excuse me, a negative. Checking to see if you're paying attention there. A negative. Okay? Negative times a positive is a negative. So we can take negative 1.2 times 3.5 is equal to, well, we know that's going to be negative something. So we can then do long multiplication, 3.5 times 1.2. Don't worry about the negative here. And then we multiply this out. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 is 7. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 3 is 3. So then we have 7 plus 350. So 7 and 5 is 12. 4. So then we had 2 decimal places. Remember, there are 2 decimal places. 1, 2. Right here, 1 and 2. So we move over 1, 2 decimal places. So that is why we have 4.2. And remember, there is 1 negative, so it will be negative 4.2. Okay? So let's look at this one. Megan's bank account is charged $9.95 per month for an online newspaper subscription. How could you represent the change in her account balance after 3 months of charges? So it's going to be 3 groups of what is the charge. The charge tells us that it is going to be negative. So it will be negative 9.95. And we can model this on our number line. So we can take 3 times negative 9.95. So 9.95 times 3. Go ahead and do that, and I'll do it here. Is 15, and 27, 28, and 9 and 3 is 27, 29. So it is 2 decimal places, so you should have 29.85. Negative 29, right? It's gone down. All right. Go ahead, I'll have you do another one on your own. All right, find the product of negative 5 over 6 and 2/5. So when we're multiplying fractions, we will have negative 5 over 6 times 2 over 5. Product tells us that it is times. Okay? The negative could either go to the top, so I have it written up at the top, or we could have written it down here at the bottom. It doesn't matter. It's one or the other. So when we multiply, we are just multiplying the top row together and the bottom row. That's it. Negative 5 times 2 over 6 times 5. So negative 10 over 30. And when we simplify this, we will get negative 1/3. That is your answer. Multiplying fractions, super, I don't want to say easy, but it's definitely easier than adding and subtracting fractions. All right, multiply a negative number by a negative rational number. So we have 2 strategies here. We could convert this to a fraction, negative 3 over 10 times negative 11 over 30, which will be negative 3 times negative 11 over 10 times 30, which is 33 over 300, which is the same as we can divide this all by we can just leave it at that. Or, because we can't simplify that, sorry, I was looking at something else. Or, we could convert this to a decimal, which is, that's what I was looking at. Honestly, I would leave it all as a fraction in this case. You want to identify which one is easier. We can see that that is easier as a fraction because 11 over 30 is an irrational number. It keeps on going. So we'll just leave it at that, okay? So you want to convert it to a fraction. All right, so the general rule, a negative times a negative gives us a positive. All right, you can go ahead and do these on your own. So the first one, you should have gone 13.78. This one here, convert your mixed number, so negative 3 over 5 times 25 over 6, which is negative 75 over 30. So you should get negative 5 over 2 when you simplify it. This one here, you should get negative 0.356. And this last one, you could convert this to a decimal, negative 2.5 times negative 0.7, or you could do negative 2 1/2 times negative 7 over 10. Okay? If you did it as a decimal, you would have 1.75. If you did it as a fraction, this would be negative 5 over 2 times negative 7 over 10, which gives us 35 over 20, which is 1 and 15 over 20, which gives us 1 and 3/4. Okay, so either way is fine. I would give you credit for either one of those. Okay, make sure you are boxing your answers. Let me know if you have any questions. Great job.